Every day brings challenges to the leader in an organization. Sometimes the notion of wellness just seems like a distant priority. I know for me, everybody talked about workplace wellness and talked about work life balance, but it just seemed like a myth. It seemed like something I would never achieve. The health and well being of you as a leader is not just about you as a person, although that is a big part of it. Your wellness is pivotal because if you don't achieve wellness, you are not able to perform at your best and your organization will suffer as a result. So, leadership wellness is not just about surviving or coping with what's happening around you, but rather moving from a state of coping to a state of thriving. So, when leaders fail to actually focus on their personal wellness, whether it be mental, physical, or emotional health, what happens is then you are at greater risk of experiencing that chronic stress, burnout, generally a reduced level of effectiveness. It can cloud your judgment or impair your decision making, effectively making you less functional as a leader. And another risk is that if you don't actually take care of your wellness, be it physical, mental, or emotional, what'll happen is you're going to bring that into the workplace in the form of toxicity. The key to wellness for leaders is that it is holistic in nature. So you can't just look at going to the gym and taking care of your body, but also not taking care of your mental well being through the implementation of boundaries, for example. So, what are the steps to leadership wellness? What are sort of the key things that you need to have in place in order to be well as a leader or to try to find or establish some synergy between your personal life and your work life? How do you get to the state of thriving that everybody talks about? The first thing you need to do is make wellness a priority. You need to be willing to imagine yourself starting your day energized rather than depleted, centering your activities around what is going to bring you more wellness or more joy or more peace or more whatever it is you're looking for in your life. So, the number one way that you can do this is just start with some morning activity. You can go for a brisk walk, do some yoga, hop on a trampoline, do whatever feels right to you. Now, for me, this is an area that I really struggle with in terms of the physical health piece. I'm still in the process of reestablishing my own physical well being methodologies and habits. And fully admit that I'm not there yet. But I do know that going outside, spending time in nature is something that I absolutely adore. And it fills me up and it gives me plenty of joy and gives me more energy for my day. So, connecting with nature for me is a very important part of the day. In fact, it's something I like to do every morning. So, find something in the morning that energizes you, that gives you life, that gives you energy. The other thing is you can consider some luxury things like massages or finally going to that physiotherapy appointment to deal with that shoulder that's been bothering you and keeping you awake at night. Because remember, sleep is really important as well. Making sure that you focus and prioritize your wellness is going to enable you to be sharper, more focused, and ready to take on the day's challenges. The second thing is you need to craft a balanced routine. What does that mean? In order for you to prioritize your wellness, you actually have to build it into your plan. So you can make your wellness a priority, have all of the things in front of you that you want to do, but you actually have to put it in your calendar. You actually have to do the things. So, for example, you can set aside time in the day for blocks, for recharge blocks. Now, when I was an exec, one of the non negotiables for me was my lunch hour. Now, there were times when we had meetings over lunch because of some urgent issue that would come up. However, beyond those times when things were going a little bit batshit and you had to be in the office for some reason, my lunch hours became non negotiable. That's when I would go for a walk. That's when I would have a nutritional lunch. That's when I would go outside and ground or earth outside. It's when I would maybe watch something that entertained me or made me feel happy or joyful. Maybe it's spending time with my husband for an hour, whatever the case may be. I would spend that hour on me and it was non negotiable. So, crafting a balanced routine means being willing to set boundaries around and actually creating a routine that enables you to fill your cup up every day, not every week, not every month. Don't plan for that annual vacation, that one time a year. You can still do that. But when we put all of our eggs in the vacation basket, it doesn't refill us or replenish us during the course of the year. And then we struggle to get through day to day. So you need to find a way to build this stuff into your daily practice. If you like reading, find a book and go sit on a park bench and read for a half an hour, 45 minutes at your lunch hour while you're snacking on a sandwich or whatever. Just do something that fills you up once a day during the day. The third thing that's really, really hard for executives is define the boundaries and then stick to them. Boundaries are a vital component to managing your stress. I have a colleague by the name of Nancy Levin of the Nancy Levin Coaching Academy who worked very closely with Wayne Dyer. And one of the things that I heard her say the other day, which really resonated with me, was boundaries are the gateway to joy, to getting everything you ever wanted in your life. Because the reality is boundaries is about protecting your time and protecting your energy. Now, when we work during the day and we invest ourselves in our executive roles or in our leadership roles, we're giving a lot of our energy away. So it's really important that you establish boundaries so that you can carve out time during the day for you to be the priority, be the focus. It's one of the hardest things to live by because I struggled with this as an exec. But that lunch hour was one way for me to establish my boundaries. That was a non-negotiable time frame. Please do not contact me during that time unless the sky is falling. You don't contact me during that time frame. And eventually what happened is my staff and my senior management eventually got to understand that I was gone for 45 minutes, but I was back. And if they could just wait for 45 minutes, I would promptly deal with whatever needed to be addressed. Making sure you establish fixed work hours is another piece of it. So since COVID, I don't know if you have experiences, but I know for me, before I retired and left to shift my career to being a wellness coach and a leadership coach, one of the things I found really, really difficult was establishing boundaries about around my work hours in the evenings. Because with COVID, it seems like all of our personal lives and our work lives, that sort of line between them sort of blurred in a major, massive way. And so a lot of executives, a lot of leaders are finding themselves sort of on their phone tethers, on their email tethers and text tethers, if you will, where at 8 o'clock at night, they'd be responding to emails or addressing questions from senior leadership. And it created a serious lack of balance, and a lot of burnout happened and has occurred since COVID as a result. So it's going to be really important in this new world, this new normal that we all live in, to really firmly establish boundaries around your home life. Trust me, you will prevent your burnout if you do this. If you don't do this, you will burn out. It will catch up with you over time. The fourth thing I'm going to say is incorporate some form of mindfulness in your day. Now, this was something as a busy executive I didn't really take time for. And as a very linear thinker, I used to say, oh, that's just bullshit. I don't want to have to do mindfulness. What's this yoga stuff? What's this meditation stuff? Connecting to heart stuff? This is all crap. But I'm here to tell you that the more you connect with yourself from a mindful state, the easier things seem to get, and the more centered and calm you feel as a result. Mindfulness does not mean that you need to be a yoga expert or some sort of guru in a corner chanting with belts. That is not necessary. Mindfulness can be as simple as focusing in the moment. People often think that meditation is about quieting the mind, but it's not. Meditation is about focusing the mind. It's about focusing and maybe even silencing it just a little bit, but it's really about paying attention to the world around you. So, one of the meditative mindfulness exercises that I do daily is I head outside into my yard and I take my shoes off and I put my feet on the ground. I connect with the planet, I connect with the energy of the earth, and I actually just will sit there and listen. And I know that sounds really crazy, but I'm telling you, you sit there and you listen. And all you do is pay attention to the furthest noise away from you, identify it, give it a quality. Oh, I hear a siren in the distance. It's really quiet. I think it's a fire truck. Just focus on that. And then come back to something that's really close to you. There's a bird in the tree, it's chirping, it's a robin, whatever. And just focusing on the noise. Another way that you can mindfully connect with yourself is through breath. And the way I like to do this is through a 4 in, 5 out breath pattern or even a box breath. And the reason why I like to do this is because then I'm focusing on my breathing, on my lungs expanding and contracting, rather than focusing on the stress of my day. So I will take a deep breath in through the nose for a count of 4, and then out through the nose for a count of 5. In through the nose, out for 5. And I'll do this for 7 or 8 cycles. And the reason I want to do 7 or 8 cycles is because that's how long it takes for your brain. When you breathe through your nose, it actually signals to your brain that you are safe, because nasal breathing settles things down by activating the parasympathetic nervous system. Whereas your mouth, when you use it open mouth breath, which a lot of people breathe with their mouth open during the day when they're stressed, they don't realize they're doing it, but they are. When you breathe through your mouth, you're actually activating the sympathetic flight, fight, fawn system, and you're activating your cortisol. So when you want to calm yourself, you want to go through the nose. You want to breathe through the nose. So 4 in, 5 out, 7 to 8 cycles will definitely get you there. You'll feel like this inner quietude, this sort of settling of the body when you get to like 8, 9. And if you have to do 10, 15, 20 cycles to get yourself off the roof, then do that. The other thing you can do is box breathing, which again is a form of mindfulness. You breathe in for 4, hold at the top for 4, breathe out all through the nose for 4, hold at the bottom for 4. Box breathing, 4, 4, 4, 4, can also do that exact same thing. Again, if you do 8, 9, 10 cycles of this, by the way, you don't have to do this for minutes on end. Some people get dizzy when they do that. My husband actually was doing box breathing at like 8, 9, and 10 seconds at a time, and he actually passed out. But anyway, I digress. But what you can do is if you do this 4 in, hold, or even 5, if you can tolerate it, you're actually again stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system and calming the entire system down, not just your brain, because your brain, your cortisol levels will drop and your whole body will relax. And it's just a way of resetting yourself. So if you have a meeting that's super stressful, you come away really angry or aggressive, your face is red, you can feel your blood pressure is up, take 5 minutes to go sit somewhere in your house or outside, preferably connecting with nature in some way, and doing a box breath or doing the 4 in, 5 out breathing. And when you do that, you're neurologically resetting. The fifth and final thing is connect with community and resources. This is all about surrounding yourself with a network of peers, friends, colleagues, family members, whoever, to help you maintain your wellness. Regularly connecting with work colleagues or mentors helps you to gain different perspectives on things, might actually help to reduce your stress load if you can bounce ideas off somebody as a strategic partner. Having an executive coach is exactly for that reason. I know as a leader, I often felt very alone because I couldn't go to my senior management. I didn't want to show weakness, and I couldn't go to my staff because I had to show leadership. So therefore, I felt like I was by myself. And sometimes I wouldn't want to go to my colleagues because they might be competing with me for the very same senior management positions. Or alternatively, I might find colleagues that maybe use that information against me in some way. So I was very paranoid about sharing any of this kind of stress with anybody and found myself very isolated really, really quickly. So if you're feeling very isolated as a leader, like you can't talk to anybody at work about your problems, you come home and you don't want to talk about your spouse about it because they just try to fix your life and tell you what to do, then get a mentor, get a coach, somebody who can have a strategic conversation with you so that you can start to unravel the mess that you're in, or maybe brainstorm ideas or help to reduce your stress because they have experience in this and they can tell you how they managed it to help you give your ideas. And then you're not feeling so lost and confused and alone. So looking for a solid foundation of people who can support you, become part of your network, will be key to reestablishing your wellness as a leader. By prioritizing your well-being, balancing some sort of routine, setting your boundaries and sticking to them, incorporating mindfulness in your daily practice, and establishing communities or networks of people who can support you in your journey will help you to create a solid foundation for your ongoing personal satisfaction and professional success. If you're having a hard time with your stress management and you're looking to navigate this with more support, I'm here to help you out. There's a link down below for my calendar. Book yourself in for 15 minutes. Let's just have a quick chat and see what the options are and see if there's some way that I can help you. No pressure, no sales, just a conversation. And because you watched this video, I have a meditative practice down below that I have put on audio for your listening pleasure. It's really meant to support you to help minimize your stress and to bring in more of what you want in your life, to release things that don't work for you. And when you click on the link, you'll be able to access it for free and download it and use it immediately. And finally, if you're looking to breathe again as a leader and you're tired of feeling stressed and overwhelmed all the time, make sure you subscribe to this channel because there'll be more content like this on this channel going forward. I look forward to supporting you and helping you find your path to wellness. All the best out there and happy healing.